making a beautiful life. I'm changing, rearranging. I see a beautiful day. It's coming my way. It's a beautiful day.
So much for joining us on A Beautiful Life. I am your host, Jaquita JQ Lee. And when I tell you, I'm so delighted to have our special guest, our beautiful guest for this evening. This is a serious matter, but my heart is overwhelmed and just so grateful for her heart with why she even came about with this organization entitled Bullets for Life. And so, beautiful viewers, thank you again for joining us. Please welcome Susan Kennedy. Welcome, Susan.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me, JQ. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, look, we're like both twinning right now. Our beautiful gap.
Hey, and the intention is to rock with it for the rest of our life.
That's our signature. That's our signature. Yes, yes.
So I'm introduced to this beautiful young lady by my dear sister in Christ, Josepha Benjamin. And this is why I say, connects are very important, but intentional connects and divine connects, where something that is birthed out of it is fruitful for individuals. It's not just, a happenstance or an ironic thing, but it's really very intentional and very purposeful. And so shout out to Joseph, will probably be joining or listening in because I told her you would be on the show. Yes, yeah, just a heart of gold, but truly has a heart for the community. And so that allows me to jump right in to talk with you because your heart for the community is just amazing. And so when I think about Susan, the fact that you have three yourself, right? And how these stories can just really touch the hearts of parents as a whole, caregivers as a whole. Talk to us a little bit about the passion behind why it is that you actually started Bullets for Life.
Wow. It's so much bigger than me, So when people ask me that question, they really take me back to the beginning, how this was activated, how my passion was activated to save lives. First of all, I'm a mom first. I'm a mother of three sons, three Black, beautiful sons. My oldest is 29 this year. I have a 25-year-old, and my baby's going to be 18 this year. So being a mom first and seeing babies are dying one bullet at a time is what activated this passion in me that I've had a long time ago. And let me say this right now. I had a moment just a couple of days ago as I was looking back at Sandy Hook shooting. I was looking back at the Parkland shooting, but I went way back. Sandy Hook happened in 2012, right? And I went back to that and I remembered that's what brought something in me when those kids were dying. Those were babies too. And I never realized that until recently, because this vision had to come somewhere. It didn't just come soon as a 6-year-old boy was killed. This was always in me. But when a 6-year-old boy was killed in 2016 is what activated the mission. The vision has always been there, but I didn't realize it, that I've had this vision in me for so long, since 2012 when Sandy Hook happened. And this just came to me recently. As I sit back and I'm watching it, I went back all the way to 1999 at a Columbine shooting. I just go back to those things. So, but Bullets for Life was activated in 2016 when a 6-year-old boy named King Carter was killed. God has given me this. He's like, we're always doing the gun buybacks. We're always talking about the guns, but nobody's really talking about that one little thing called the bullet that's taking a life. Without a bullet, the gun can't work, right? And we're always doing gun buybacks, right? We're always doing gun buybacks, but nobody talks about the bullets. So when this little boy was taken by a bullet, that's when it activated me. I'm like, God came to me again in a vision, like this have to happen. And I was a personal stylist at Nordstrom, top dollars, $1 million seller, pace setter, you name it. That's who I was at Nordstrom. But when God gives you something and you trust his process in your life and you believe in your assignment, you move. And it moved me. And I've been moving for the last 6 years nonstop. Been out here taking bullets off the street, speaking life into our community. As we ask someone for a bullet, this is us speaking life into you because we don't know what you're going through. I'm not coming to condemn you. I'm just asking you to donate that one bullet. That bullet you give me can save your own child's life. Because kids are going into they're dying, that we're losing kids by just accidental shooting every day, suicidal shooting, right? Yeah. So you give me that bullet, you don't know who life is saved, but it's also honoring that 6-year-old boy that was just killed. So that's how we started to get our bullets off the street, by asking for a bullet to save a life.
And that's such a powerful message. People are very polarized as it relates to this topic, in speaking on whether people should be able to carry guns and arms and things of that nature. But when we really have the conversation, about this impact in our community, when you think about, I hear people say, well, guns don't kill people, people kill people. But what are people killing people with? This majority are the guns. And I love the fact that you said, what, let's even address what goes inside of that gun, what makes it lethal, And so when you talk about that incident, that tragedy that happened, that really spawned you going into the direction of having the organization, talk to our beautiful viewers about your impact with the families directly. And just to set this up, it was so interesting. Just the timing of God. As I said, I was introduced to you by Colonel Joseph Benjamin. And shortly thereafter, I came to your home for this beautiful piece that we're going to talk about at the end. We're definitely representing. And actually had to share horrific news with you about an incident that happened to a young man at my church. And so for the first time, we never talked about actually both of us attending the funeral, but for the first time, I met you at the funeral. And you literally sat in front of me.
Wow.
Out of any place that you could have sat at the church, you literally came and you sat in front of me. And I say this to say that your impact of not knowing many of these families, but having enough love and empathy to be in the moment with them speaks volumes. Talk a little bit about what this impact has had on some of the families that you've been able to interact with.
Well, I've met some amazing families, and I met these families not by their choice, by someone else's choice, right? Someone that took their child's life made that choice for these families to be in this destructive walk of pain. And being who I am, I step into this movement with a heart, right? A heart for people and a mother first. So being in the moment with those families is important for me because it's how I continue my movement. I want to be real. I want to come real to you. There's nothing fake about this movement. It's my blood, sweat, and tears. And when I show up with compassion. I show up because I want you to know that you're not alone, right? There's an organization out here called Bullets for Life that walks with you, talk with you, listen to you, right? And we're there after the math, like the aftermath of you losing your child. We show up to you. So it's so important that those families see my face first. I wouldn't say anything. I'm just showing up, even if it's just a hug. So you can remember that hug that I just gave you and just know that I'm not going anywhere. Once a casket is closed, people disappear. Everybody's gone, the news shut down, they're on to the next story. But our family have to live still in that grief, right? They still have to live that life of losing a child. And every time another child is being killed, it's triggering that family over and over again, right? So being in that moment with those families. I've been in so many things. I've showed up when I've seen every step of grief with moms. I've seen step by step. I've seen suicidal step. I've seen the revenge step where they want to have revenge for the person who took their children. The angry step. I've seen every step, and I've been there. I've been there. God allowed me to be there. You know, I can't imagine being that mom in that, being in her shoes. I can never, and I don't want to imagine that. But for some reason, God gave me the power to understand that moment and that life of losing a child. And this is why I stick with these moms, and I love them with all my heart and my soul, you know.
Yeah.
And so being in them, being there, those moms eventually find out who I am, fall in love with who I am. Forget about the organization. They fall in love with my heart, right? And the impact we've had in their lives, to where we're giving them some kind of hope that your child was killed, but he cannot die in vain. What has God birthed in you as a mom? What has God birthed in you as a family? After you lose something so precious that you can never get back, right? But he's always going to be here. She's always going to be here. She's not going anywhere spiritually. But God has birthed something bigger than you inside of you, because there's so many other kids that we have to go out there and save. And I truly believe the ones that can save these children is the survivors. These moms walking in the pink, the survivors, they have a story. They can save other children. I believe, and I stand with them. I want them to know that if you're going to decide to go, after you lose your child, you go through your grief and you're still grieving. But if you decide that you want to go there and you're going to fight, I want to see you fight to honor your child, because I can't do it alone. I can't do it for you, but I can do it with you. Right?
That's it.
So
That's it.
that's what it is. I've been with many. My organization is surrounded by mothers who's lost their children. Because we give.
I actually had an opportunity to go to one of your work sessions at the school recently, last week, American Heritage, and had an opportunity to literally like sit beside a parent who lost her son, I believe, 2016. And as you said, like, to see them be able to go from such a tragic event and to give back in honor of their children, it just speaks volumes to them feeling like this is a safe place, and to be able to now forward that hope and forward the message onto others, because you're allowing them to do so through this organization.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk a little bit, Susan, about, because we often hear about the mothers, right, of these children when they are murdered and they're no longer here. Talk a little bit with our beautiful viewers about the impact that you've seen that it has had on their siblings and other family members. What is the process that you're seeing the actual siblings go through in losing their loved ones?
Yeah, we tend, you know what, we in America do it, and I've had my flaws in that too, that we tend to just focus on the moms, right? Because the mom birthed this child, and the mom is going to hurt a lot more. But it's bigger than the mom. There's the siblings. There's a father, you know. So we call them the forgotten ones. Like, we forget about those siblings that's hurting too. And you don't know, if you don't get to those siblings right away, you don't know where their mind is at. They're traumatized. They just lost a loved one. So if we don't get to them right away, we can lose them to the streets. We can lose them to suicidal. So it's so important for the siblings to know that they are not alone either. The mom is so hurt. Sometimes even the moms forget about the other ones because they're so hurt, you know, over losing this child, that sometimes the kids are pushed to the side, and there's no intention. It's nothing that they're doing intentionally. It's just that grief sometimes takes over after losing a child. So it's so important for us to not forget the brothers, the sisters, the fathers that's hurting, because a bullet destroyed the whole entire family. Yeah. So we have the workshops that we do to honor the loved ones. The Pop and Heal workshop is called Pop and Heal. It's not just for the mom, it's for the whole family. We allow the siblings to come to our workshop and destroy those bullets and repurpose it for their brother or sister that was just killed by gun violence. We want them to know that their life matters too. Their life matters too. And they can stand up in this fight. We need them to live and not die. So we have to speak life into those siblings now. We can't forget them. That's when we could lose them. Right. You know, I've had situation where a brother, after he lost his brother, he was like, he almost got arrested. He almost got killed. So how do we save them? So a mother don't lose two children. It's up to us to stand with that family and let those siblings know. Like right now we have next to me, I don't know if you can see that, this is Aiden. Aiden lost his 7-year-old sister. He's a twin. She was 7 years old when she was killed. Alana Washington. She was only 7 years old. She left a brother behind. On Aiden's birthday, he invited Bullets for Life to come and do a workshop with all his friends so he don't forget about his sister. But we want him to know that we haven't forgot about him either, because now he have to carry his twin sister. They have to carry, when the mother can't move and the mother is grieving, these children step up. So it's so important for us to remember the siblings matters too. They matter. Aiden mattered too. Aiden would live and not die. And if you see him, I'm talking about kids his age were making bracelets to honor his twin sister who was killed, right? So it's so important. That's why I have this picture of a sibling. It's important that we remember the siblings that's left behind after losing their brother or sister.
Wow. You know, I'm happy that we are having that conversation just about the impact on everyone. And you said something so powerful, Susan, about that bullet not just destroying the life of the one that was slain, but it actually can destroy families. And this is why the work that you're doing with Bullets for Life is so vitally important. Talk to our viewers about what was the inspiration in actually going into the schools with the No Bullet Zone, and how did that come about?
Oh, the No Bullet Zone workshop came about. Actually, it was in Miami. Our first one was in Miami when I think he was 14 years old. He was killed, and we used to pull up, like we would pull up in the community. Right? No, we don't call the police. We don't call anyone. We pull up where the violence just happened so that we can speak life into those other children before it's too late. So we go to the inner city, we go to the hood, we're pulling up everywhere. And we would just pull out our tables. We would ask for bullets. The community would donate bullets to us, and the kids will surround our table just to destroy a bullet. They've never heard of anything like this. We have to stop. When we see kids are killing kids, it goes viral. Everybody posts it. But we have children in our inner city that's saving lives one bullet at a time, because we are speaking life into a community that is bleeding. So the No Bullet Zone workshop come from no more bullets, no more lives being taken. Your life is going to be saved. So we will pull up. We pulling up. Just like how the shooters are pulling up, we want to pull up too.
Come on.
Right? We're going to pull up to save those other children's lives. They just lost a 14-year-old. What do you think is going through these kids' mind? Their mindset. So how can we change their mindsets and shift their hearts to let them know that their life is worth more than a bullet? They cannot keep dying by a bullet. They're not set up to die by a bullet. How can we as adults change that? How can we change that from our babies dying every day? I'm sorry.
No apology needed. No apology.
Every day we're losing our children every day, and nobody's doing anything about it. Nobody's doing anything about it. We have so many leaders. There's so many resources out there, and they don't care about our kids dying. And it's our kids killing each other. And that's why we kill each other more than we kill each other. How is a 15-year-old killing a 17-year-old, empty the clip on him? How angry are we? What have we done to our children? What happened to that young boy that he was so angry to keep shooting until there was no more bullets left in the gun on that 17-year-old? What have we done? We've done this. We brought these guns to these kids. These kids can't afford guns. Our kids are angry. There's no resources. There's no programs. There's no love anymore.
And this
There's
is
no
why
village anymore. There's no village. There used to be, I remember when there used to be a village, no more village, and everybody just care for themselves. There's no kindness. There's no love anymore. So we are losing our kids by hate. Hate is what's killing us. Hate for each other, hate because the white man hate us. It's just too much. So what you think is going on in our kids' mind? What is, I'm sorry, I just
no, you're more than fine, Susan. And this is why it's so important that we all see this as our issue. It doesn't have to directly hit your home, as evidenced by the fact that you are so involved in this. When we lose one of our children, then all of us should feel like we've lost that child, because they were supposed to have a promising future. They were supposed to be impactful and to give back. And this is why, I really wanted to do this show. I wanted to highlight what it is that you're doing, because to be honest, many people have lost their hope. And programs like yours helps to really direct people back to God, direct people back to being that village, because it's in that village approach. We remember growing up as young people, and just in the neighborhood where elderly people could talk to you, or, just adults could say things to you and get you, back in line and tell you, to stop what you're doing. And so now we're in a time where, people don't really get it as involved, and they're not really focusing in on that village approach. And so I thank you for bringing that back to the forefront, that, hey, listen, this is all of our children, and we all need to be involved and impacted by what's going on. I want you to talk a little bit, as I made mention of, the fact that now you're going into the schools with the no bullet zone. You're also providing these workshops for families, because one of the things that you also said that I want to just park on for a moment, going through that grief stage, we know when something so tragic happens, in the initial, everybody is there. Everybody's coming to the home, everybody's checking on you. But it's those weeks after, it's those months after, it's those years after. And so talk a little bit about that actual workshop that you provide for the family, where they can bring in family and friends, and you really want it to be a community event, that they're actually bringing in the children in the community. Talk a little bit about that program that you do specifically for the families.
Yeah, the pop and heal, right? No bullets over. The pop and heal is for the families. So you're popping bullets, you're taking the deadly part out of it, and you're repurposing it to honor your family member that was lost to gun violence, right? So we ask you, what's your child's favorite color? Like, we have an event coming up, right? For Kai, right? Kyrie, let me say that right. It's coming up. He's the 17-year-old that was killed by the 15-year-old. We have an event coming up soon for his family. His favorite color was blue. We're going to take blue beads and we're going to flood that area with blue to honor him, right? And every bullet, his mom is doing a bullet drive. You guys did a bullet drive, and that's the first mom I see second mom that really stepped up and said, I'm going to go get these bullets off the street. I'm doing my own bullet drive, right? I had other moms, but it's been a while. So she is doing this bullet drive to honor her child. She has probably taken off over 100 bullets. That's 100 lives saved. That's 100 bullets that will never take a life, but it's honoring her child. She just saved over 100 lives in honor of her child. That's 100 kids possibly that could have taken by those bullets. But because she has made that step and believe in this movement, that a bullet can no longer take someone that she loved.
That's it.
And we're gonna honor Kyra. We're gonna honor him one bullet at a time. We're gonna take a life back one bullet at a time. We're taking our community back one bullet at a time. We're making a stand to save our children because their lives is worth more than a bullet. They have to live and not die. So in honor of her child, we will take over that community. We're going to ask for a bullet. We can create conversations. We can let them know that they will live, and their life don't have to end with a bullet. Their life, we have to give them hope. The kids want some sense of hope. We're going into a community that when they hear a bullet shooting, when they hear a gun go off, they don't even run no more.
Jesus.
It became the norm. When a body drop on the floor, it become the norm unless they know that child close. And a lot of people knew Kai. My kids, I mentored 10 kids in the city for the last 6 years. They live in the same plaza where he was killed. I deliver food and toys to that plaza. I was in that plaza with my children who witnessed the shooting, and they were best friends with this young man. So they witnessed their friend died. They witnessed his death. What do you think is happening to their mind? So how can we go? How can we go now and give them some kind of sense of hope to let them know it don't have to end this way?
Right.
What if they're thinking about revenge? What if revenge is in their mind? How can we change their mindset right now before it's too late? I'm tired of waiting until things happen. I've been doing this for 6 years, nonstop. If I can do it, anybody can do it. If you don't know how to do it, call us and support us. Be a volunteer. Show up with us, and I'll show you how to do it. I'll show you how to save a life one bullet at a time.
And you know what? I want to share something, Susan. I think it's important because sometimes people can feel like maybe either from their age or, not having the resources of how can I really make an impact? And I want to shine a light on your son. Your son was at the actual event that you just recently had at one of the high schools, and the way in which he was helping out and just so passionate as yourself. Talk a little bit just about how young people can get involved. Your son is actually going to be honored shortly for his involvement with this.
Yes.
About
I'm so proud of him.
The young lady at the school that you said, she constantly calls you for you to come out. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, I am so proud of my child. He's been doing it since he was 11 years old. My son could have been out there taking lives, but instead he's saving lives since he was 11, right? And he's passionate. He's destroyed he's destroyed most of the bullets, like thousands of bullets. And the thing is, my son has never played with a toy gun. We wasn't allowed to have toy guns. So he's never played with a toy guns, but here his mom have him destroying thousands of bullets. Go figure, right? But I'm so proud of the young man he's grown to be. He's passionate. He understands the mission. He understands the assignment. That this assignment is not for me to carry. It's for these young people to carry, right? He's starting an organization called Bullets for Life Youth. I'm just the vessel God is using, but this is about these children. So it's going to take these kids, my son, along with Anya. Anya is from American Heritage, the young lady that kept calling me, texting me, we need you at our school. We need some kind of sense of hope. And Bullets for Life does that for us. There's nothing like Bullets for Life. We need you at the school because we come with so much love, right? We come with love. For no matter who you are, what color you are, we show up for you the same we show up for anybody else. And they love that about us. So for her to reach out to me for the third time to come to their school, where half of those kids were survivors from the Parkland shooting. Right? How many people walk up to us and say, I'm a survivor of Parkland shooting. Thank you for being here. We need this in every school. These kids that don't look like you and me say we need this in every school because we're able to speak life into them because we don't know what they're going through mentally. Mass shooting happen every day. Not every day, but it's a mass shooter is born every day. Put it that way. There's a mass shooter who's waiting to start something every day. He just waiting for the right time. So what if we don't even know that we were speaking to a mass shooter, that we was able to speak life into him in that moment?
Come on.
We don't know who we're speaking to. That's why we have to approach people with a heart. We have to approach people with compassion because we don't know what people are going. We're all a trigger away from doing something. This is the life that we live. We're all away a trigger from snapping, and everybody snap differently. And the ones that snapping with a gun is dangerous, right? So I am proud of my child. I am proud of what he's about to be. I thank God for him. And this is all about him. And he's going to take this to the other level. When I can't do it, my son is going to take over it. I'm thank God for my child and students like Anya and the other kids as part of Bullets for Life.
Amen. Amen. And so you all keep hearing us talk about this impact. And so I want you now, Susan, to share with our viewing audience. This is a very unique process that goes on. I actually had an opportunity to go to her home to see her through the entire process. And this is one that she made especially for me. They are actually handmade and they're unique. So you're not going to see one like the other. Talk to our viewing audience about why this is such a conversation piece. Some people may feel like, oh my God, a bullet. But when you hear the story behind why the bullet, it is one of the most powerful, impactful messages that I have heard in relation to this. So talk, Susan, a little bit about the process of coming to this bracelet, how you give it to the families, and how people can get involved.
Well, it's called Bulletproof, PROVE, Bulletproof Bracelet. It's the evidence of a life being saved and not a life taken. These are all bullets that could have possibly told a different story, but because of our movement, it's being repurposed into a life saved, right? So what it is, I brought my little collection here. We have a bag of bullets that was donated at church over the weekend. Someone from the church donated these bullets to us, right? Right now, I have half of them that's pop already. It's just a casing. So what it is, it's called Donate a Bullet, Save a Life. A bag of bullet was donated. We come home or we go to different events and we have the bullet destroy. If you look, these are the actual bullets. So there's no longer a bullet. It's the casing that we use to make the bracelets. This is the bullet, the head of the bullet. This is a bullet from a 40 millimeter. This bullet can go through you and somebody else and kill you. Do you know how many people is walking around with a bullet right now? Do you know how many lives has been taken by a bullet? But because of what we're doing, we have saved over 20,000 lives and counting by asking for a bullet. If you donate 20 or more bullets, 20 or more, you get a free bracelet. As we destroy the bullet, we take the deadly part out of it. The gunpowder comes out, the primer comes out, and now it's just a casing. So if you look, it's just a casing, right? See right there? It's empty casing. And the bullets are being repurposed into a beautiful bracelet, right? And with that, gunpowder comes out. Guess what goes in? A positive message. You write a positive message. I prefer a Bible scripture because I don't ever want to go a day without giving God glory for this movement. Because this is not of me. I promise you, this is not, I've given my life to God to do this work. So inside of every bullet, every casing, there's a Bible scripture that goes in, or your favorite message goes in there. We glue it there, and then you have a bracelet with a message, the most powerful conversation piece you can possibly wear, because this used to be a bullet. But because of what we do as an organization, I'm talking about not just me, there's mothers that's lost their children that make these bracelets. We just donated 80 bracelets to Trayvon Martin Foundation. Sabrina Fulton contacted me, and she wanted all. This is the third year we've done it. The first year we've given it all away. The second year we give it away. This year, Sabrina reached out to me. She said, well, the last 2 years, she reached out to me. She said, send me an invoice because she know it's cost to make these things. Right. So I just want to thank God because we've been giving. We just give, you guys. We give, we give, we give, we give. If you lost a child to gun violence, we don't ask you for money. We don't want to make money off of your loss. You tell us what you want, and we make it for the intimate family, the mom, the dad, the siblings, right? We don't want to forget the siblings. And each child or each family member walk around with a conversation piece, honoring their loved ones, but knowing that it's a life saved and not a life taken.
Yeah.
With the favorite color, right? But I love this green. Look at this green; it's so pretty. But yes, yep. So that's why it's the most powerful conversation piece you could possibly find. You see, Nancy Pelosi wore and spoke about it. You know, this. Mm-hmm. There's so many amazing people that wear and talk about these bracelets because it's that important. It's that powerful.
You know, and the fact that you have people like Ms. Fulton, who's involved, politicians, people who are activists in the community, who are definitely bringing the much needed attention to it. Thank you so much, Lamont, for sharing the information to donate to A Bullet for Life. Also, I want to make sure that you all are able to stay in touch with Susan for information pertaining to workshops or how you can be involved. So she's actually at bullets_for_life. And you could definitely get in touch with her for the role that you will play in the message. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just showing it off as you speak. I'm just showing the bracelets off as you speak. Yes, they're beautiful bracelets being made out of bullets. I'm proud of these. I'm very proud of these.
As we begin to wrap up the show, I definitely want to give a special love shout out to my sister and brother in Christ, Corey and Ari, who, as you heard myself and Susan make mention of them losing their son, Kyrie. And I tell you, to see the strength of God on them is a testament all to itself. You know, I was talking with Ari this week, and within one day, she got over 100 bullets. She went to the neighboring stores. You know, we got the instructions from Susan and she moved on it. And one of the things, Susan, about that, you made mention of how many young people are friends with him. Well, a lot of these young people have been to their home pretty much every day since this horrific event happened.
Wow.
And so when you're talking about going through the grieving process, and particularly when something like this happens to youth, it's always going to be where you're going to have to reach back to those young people because they're having an influx of emotions. And you want to make sure that they don't do something that dishonors his name. You want to make sure that they do something that's honoring it. And that's exactly what you're providing with your workshop. So I want to turn the floor over to you. I want you to do two things. I want you to talk to that young person who may be battling with anger, battling with revenge, about being able to handle things differently because they don't fully understand the ramifications of that split decision and how it can not only impact their lives, but impact generations to come. I want you to talk to them specifically, and then I want you to close out talking to the ones who will join you in this vision and making sure that we're getting these bullets off of the streets.
Yeah, like I was saying before, that we want to speak life into this young man. So there's a young person, man or woman, young teenager, 14-year-olds, 12, even 12, 10 years old, that they feel having a gun is power. They feel having a gun is cool. They feel posting a gun on their social media is the coolest thing, but it's deadly. There's only two ways out. Is either jail or death. Jail or death. But I want to speak life into them and let them know that once you pull that trigger, there's no going back. Your life is worth more than a bullet. Having friends around you that have guns is not cool. Walk away from those friends. There's so many kids that's dying out here. They look how families are grieving, mothers are grieving. A bullet destroyed a whole entire family. When a child is taking a bullet and die, that bullet go through the whole family. It's just that these families are still standing to keep their children's name alive. You don't want your mom to have to go through that. You don't want your father to have to go through that. Your brothers, your sister, your community to have to go through that. You have to change. You have to turn from your wicked ways. There's help out there. There's love out there. We love you. We want you to live and not die. Your life cannot end with a bullet. Get rid of that gun right now. Let it go. Give it up. Walk away from the gang. Walk away from those people that you call friends. Walk away from the streets. There is help out there. There's a group called Circle of Brotherhood that you can contact. If you need help right now, look up Circle of Brotherhood and say, I need help right now. I want to get off these streets. These just streets is not for you. You're not built for this. God did not design you to die this way. He made you to be purposeful, you have a gift, you have a purpose. You have a purpose. You are our future and we need you to live. So I ask you right now, with love in my heart and compassion, I want you to put that gun down right now, knowing that there's love out here, there's help out here. You are not alone. Your life is worth more than a bullet. You just have to know your worth, baby. You have to know your worth. We love you. And donate that bullet. Please donate that bullet. And I will teach you how to repurpose that bullet into something you can wear now, knowing that your life is saved. That's it.
Amen. Amen. Thank you all so much for tuning in, our beautiful viewing audience. You can get in touch with Susan on all social media through Bullets for Life. That's with the number 4, as well as her Facebook page, Susan Kennedy or Susan Bullet. And so,
Susan, I'm sorry, it's just Susan Bullets on Facebook, and then Instagram is Bullets number 4 and live, Bullets for Life.
Awesome, awesome. And so we definitely want to make sure that you know there are services out there that are you have access to, and also for those who feel like, what is it that I can do? Well, here is a phenomenal organization for you to connect with. I look forward to continuing to go out and volunteer with your workshops that you're doing in the school. So all of my beautiful viewing audience who are in the Tri-County, our West Palm, our Broward, and our Dade, for those who have access to the schools, these children need this information. And so that workshop that she does in the schools, it is phenomenal. The footage that she does, the interaction, the level of interaction, and them being able to create this bracelet, the bulletproof, where they're now going to be able to share that message as people look at it, is everything. And so for those who are in the school system, we want to make sure that you're connecting with Susan so that we can work on getting her out to the schools for the next school year. And so I want to close out with a heartfelt thank you, Susan, to you for coming on A Beautiful Life and just sharing your heart concerning this matter, that something that is such a nightmare can be turned into hope and not be in vain because of the impact that you're making for those who are here. And so thank you so very much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, JQ. Thank you for even supporting. Thank you for showing up for those 130 kids. It was 130 students that made their own bracelet. Now they get to walk around with something so powerful, with such an amazing conversation piece. So thank you for showing up, because we needed you, and you step in and you act like you've been there all this time. So thank you so much.
You know what? My heart is so full for young people, and just to see what you're doing, it was worth me moving some things around to be there.
Thank you.
I want to close the show in a place of hope for someone. Your children right now may be experiencing peer pressure, experiencing a desire or an interest to be a part of certain things, and you're talking to them, don't stop talking to them. Don't stop praying for them. There are organizations that are literally equipped to walk you and your family through some of the stressors that we have in our communities. We cannot continue to just look at the news and say that this incident is horrific and this is tragic. We've now got to really go back, and as Susan made mention, going back to that where we're talking about the village and the impact of what the village does. And so a part of this will be, after seeing this show, pray about it. What is it that God will have you to do concerning this topic? What is it that He would have you to do concerning our young people? We've got to get back to where we're talking to them. Instead of talking about them, let's get back to where we're speaking life into them, as she made mention, where they know that their life is purposeful and they're here for a reason. And so without further ado, I want to just thank again everyone for tuning in to A Beautiful Life. It is a blessing to be able to provide you with this show. And I thank you so much until we chat again.
I'm living a beautiful life. I'm making a beautiful life. I'm changing, rearranging. I see a beautiful day.